It is my favourite Scooby-Doo film, and if you ask me, one of the best they have ever done. I'm Tommy Bowyer from Movie Rewind, and without further ado, let's get into it. Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase was directed by Jim Stenstrum. It was released in 2001. It is the final Scooby-Doo film to be oversaw by William Hanna before his death, and the final of the 4 Scooby-Doo films to be oversaw by Japanese animation company Mook Animation. And it is my personal favourite of the 4 they were involved in. Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase is a fun and enchanting film with a lot of variety and quite a lot of nostalgia thrown in for good measure as well. There will be spoilers in this review, so please feel free to watch the film before you watch the review. The Mystery Inc. gang in this film are all on the same level. For example, in Witch's Ghost, Velma was more of the main character. In Alien Invaders, Shaggy was definitely the main character. In Cyber Chase, they all get their own standout moments. I like how this film bridges the gap between modern and classic Scooby-Doo when they meet their cyber selves, who are of course the more classic design for Scooby-Doo. I think that's really interesting. It's nice to have that nostalgia there, and it highlights how far in these 4 films the Mystery Inc. gang have come from when they were just kids hunting ghosts to now that they're more adults, and I think that's really interesting. As I said, all of the gang get the chance to stand out in this film. They get a chance to help out with the plot when they're going up the levels of the game, which I think is really interesting. The Phantom Virus is a great villain. He's one of my personal favourites. He has an amazing design, and I love his laugh as well. His laugh is really iconic. Overall, I would give the character development a 10 out of 10 because I think that the gang all get appropriate levels in this one. No one outshines anyone else, which I think it's good. It's a good film to watch if you just want to see the Mystery Inc. gang doing what they do best. Cyber Chase marks the final performances for a lot of these actors who portray the main gang, apart from Frank Welker. So, they did an amazing job once again. They were very suited to their roles and they had made those roles their own. So I think it's very sad that Warner Bros. Felt that they didn't have to keep them on. That was a little naughty of them. The standout performance I would say is Gary Sturgis in the role of the Phantom Virus. I like the Phantom Virus already. However, I think Sturgis's performance really does raise him because he's just got such an iconic voice, and that laugh. That laugh is amazing. He makes the Phantom Virus what he is through his performance. So for the performances, I would give a 10 out of 10 because once again, the cast are all phenomenal in their roles. And Gary Stardust as the Phantom Virus, that was just icing on the cake. Mook Animation, once again, do an outstanding job in this film. I cannot fault them. I especially like what they do in Cyber Chase because, of course, due to the format of the gang having to go through a 10-level video game, it means that the animation can get a bit more versatile as we go through the different levels. Each level looks like it has its own style in terms of animation, and I think that was a really good point as well. There was actually, during production, they had, the director, Jim Stenstrum, actually had an idea of having part of it set in live action. That plan, of course, didn't happen. However, I would have liked to have seen how they would have dealt with that. So the effects, I'm going to give a 10 out of 10 because Mook Animation, you were fantastic once again, and I wish you had been around to animate a couple more Scooby-Doo films. The story is really well paced in this film because of the concept of it being a 10-level game. That means that there's plenty of variety. I like the fact that we see with each level the difficulty is increasing. It adds a sense of tension to the film. I think it was wise for levels 4 to 9 they had a montage because the format could have got a little stale after a while, so I think it was wise to have a montage for that. Bringing back former villains for the final level was a stroke of genius. For long-term fans who would have recognised these villains and to realise that they're actually real, I think they would have been very, very surprised. I know I was. The mystery in this film is one of the strongest Scooby-Doo have ever done, for the simple reason they don't bash you over the head with it. Yes, the Phantom Virus does make a lot of references to baseball in this film. However, the Mystery Inc. gang aren't always going on about, hang on a minute, he's mentioned baseball again, that must be a clue. No, they leave it to the viewer to say, well, hang on a minute, he's mentioned baseball again. Weren't one of the scientists obsessed with baseball? I think I found the guy. So I think it's wise that they do have hints in there. It's just a good mystery. overall. And plus, a highlight of this film are the interactions between the modern day Scooby Gang and the cyber, more classic Scooby Gang. Those scenes were actually really enjoyable, and I think it was good to have a segment of the film when they go off with their more classic selves. I think you can highlight the differences there. Overall, I would give the story and writing a 10 out of 10. I haven't got a problem with the story. It offers a really strong mystery, and it's quite varied as well because of the concept of there being 10 levels. For this film's special recognition, it's got to be, for me personally, how they bring back former villains from Mystery Inc.'s past. I've always enjoyed Scooby-Doo because it has such varied villains, and the ones from the more classic Scooby-Doo from the 1960s and 1970s I've always preferred. Therefore, I always get excited when I see the likes of the Creeper, Jaguaro, the Tar Monster, Gator Ghoul, Old Iron Face return in this film, and I think they add to the tension with the fact that in cyberspace these creatures are actually real. I think that was a stroke of genius. Maybe it was this idea is where they got for Scooby-Doo 2. I don't know that for sure. I'm probably wrong. However, it is interesting how Scooby-Doo 2 had the idea of bringing back former villains as well. For this film's special recognition, I've got to give it a 10 out of 10 because bringing back former villains, not only does it please long-term fans, I think it just works with nostalgia very well. Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase has the perfect balance of humour and an intriguing mystery. The concept of going through a 10-level game means that there's a lot of variety in this film to enjoy. The voice cast are once again amazing, and that goes for the animation as well. Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase is my favourite Scooby-Doo film because not only does it offer something different, it also embraces its past as well, which I think is amazing. And that is why Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase gets a very well-deserved 50 out of 50, which gives it a grade 1 ranking. Now, this is just my opinion. Some people think that Zombie Island's the best Scooby-Doo film ever made, and others probably think that loads of other films. However, for me, it's always been Cyber Chase. If I had to pick a Scooby-Doo film to sit down and watch, it would definitely be Cyber Chase, no questions asked. I just think it's an amazing film. So thanks for watching, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed my Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase movie review. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe in order to receive great and maybe even improved quality content in the future. And of course, Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, the film, led to Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, the game. I used to play that around a friend's house all the time, and it was an amazing game. So thank you, Cyber Chase. Not only did you give us a great film, you also gave us a great game as well. I hope you guys have enjoyed my reviews of the Scooby-Doo films. If you'd like to see me review more, who knows, I might do that next October. You never know. I hope I'm still doing YouTube then. I hope everyone has a really good Halloween, and I will see you in another one. See ya!